Woohoo! Welcome everybody to Hex Token channel live, and of course we're covering the really big sacrifices at the moment. Liquid loans, obviously the free claim and mint of Hedron, but we're also going to cover today. We're going to cover Hex staking and of course the Hex price as well. So that's the four main topics for today. Hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, get into the chat. Of course, go hardcore. If you want to join as a member, of course, hit the join button. We've got three types of memberships: Pulsechains, Hexicans, and the Richard Hart Club. Get into that, folks, and support this channel promoting non-stop as we move into stuff. This is pretty much a Richard Hart maxi channel. I like to say that up front, but we do like to look at projects that do support the ecosystem that will get built on top of Pulsechain. Pulsechain is designed for projects to go on there. That's how value is created. That's how value ends up feeding through into Pulsechain and Pulsex and Hex. And so we'll be covering once. Some of the very speculative projects we will not be really covering on this channel. I'm really talking about what I think are the big projects that are going to help out there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get into the chat. Make sure the audio's up and running. Let me just double check that. Yeah, audio sounds good. Let's get into the chat there as well. Pull it up. So nice. So lots of people in the chat there. Very cool. Big shout out to the Magic Carpet Ride. If you've come over from there, big shout out to you, and keep up the good work. So they're having a lot of fun over there for sure, talking about new projects and stuff like that. So they're setting up pretty much becoming a big public pool for doing a lot of sacrifices. So if you want to check out a whole range of new projects that they're going to sacrifice for, check that out too. All right, Fish Tank's in the house. Woo-hoo-hoo. Number one, absolutely Fish Tank in there first. And it's now number two. Like it. Special welcome, of course. I'm your host, Superman, and welcome to the chat. We're going to have a lot of fun. Tefrin's got the money bags in the house. Very cool. And hashtag 33333. Yeah, that's probably right. You know what they say, folks, dude. It is a charm. It is true. And, of course, J-Pon's in the house as well. Another Hex Token channel member. I love those emojis. Look so good in the chat there. Let me just full screen my screen over here. I can see that all in detail. Pretty cool. All right, what else we got in the chat? We got HODL Generations in the house. Hex Token to the rocket bags. I love it. Hex HODL. The HODL there. And what forces? What's up? Woo! Hey, good stuff there. We got the emojis in the house. You know me, I love emojis. I'm still going to get a 555 emoji. That's probably the biggest thing is, so if you, you've got to think about that. I have received a few, just not quite right, just not quite right, but I'm going to get a 555 emoji sooner than later. Morris says, welcome from Christchurch, New Zealand, folks. Hey, Morris, a big shout out to you there. And J-Pon says, are we there yet? Are we there? Yeah, says J-Pon, another Hex Token channel member. Human Hex Traffic says, what up, family? Hey, it's great to see so many of you here, folks. We will be covering, as I say, we're going to be covering liquid loans. We're going to be covering Hex staking and Hex pricing. So if you want to ask questions about that, we can. We're also going to be covering the free mint and claim and mint, I should say, for the Hedron and how the price is going as we're leading into day 3 now. So cool. Matt and Barley's in house, full house. Hello, everybody. Let's rumble, absolutely. And 5555, absolutely, Matt and Barley. I love it. And the old Bintang beers. Robert says, greeting from Puerto Rico. Woohoo! Hey, Puerto Rico, it's in the house. That's very cool. Thanks, Robert. Good to see you in the chat. And Rare Groove's in there as well. A lol. And of course, Matt Dog says, Mo Dog, woo, good morning, buddy. And Maria's in there as well. Hey, Maria. And Maria and Matt both in the chat there. Very cool. Shout out to Barley there. Hello, everybody. Let's go. And Brownie's in the house as well. Still on the fence with the Hedron, says Brownie. You're just talking about interacting with the contract to claim and mint. Let me know, Brownie, because as I said, it's probably good to watch David Ferrer's video. Check that out because it's pretty good. I did put that in the did I put in the link yesterday? I thought I put it in. I'll have to double check whether I put the link in there. Maybe I'll put it in after this video. Cool. Let's get into it, folks. Here we are. This is the big news today. Of course, let's refresh this as we go. Liquid loans sacrifice stats. Now, there's a trade-off, right? There's a trade-off between a lot of projects are doing sacrifices now. This is the thing. It's really been a firebird since they've seen how successful Pulsechain was and Pulsex was. And of course, the SEC and the way that's handling the Howey test and all that sort of stuff. So we're seeing a lot of those. Some of them I don't actually think will qualify for the Howey test if you think about it. Any project that doesn't have a mutable code that's a finished product, they could be tested under the Howey test. So just be careful out there with those. Obviously, having a finished product is kind of the thing you want. Also, something that you have to do the work for. So it's going to be interesting to see that play out. Richard's ones are very cleverly, fit into that definition quite well. So just be careful out there with the Howey test. Obviously, in Hex, you mint your own Hex, and the contract's finished. It's a finished product. So take that into account. A sacrifice by itself may not give you full protection that you think you're going to get. So just take that into account. The other thing, of course, is here we have the total sacrifice, 25,253,000. So another big milestone. Of course, we covered it when we hit 20 million. Now $25 million. This is really cool. Okay, so what's the cool thing about this is obviously the more money that's sacrificed, you kind of get the dilution effect. But on the positive, you get the big money coming in, and that bodes very well for the kind of the strength of the project. So you got a bit of a trade-off there in the two ways there. So at the moment, 5,431 wallets so far, and we've got the total estimated supply 637 billion loan tokens. 637 billion loan tokens. But remember that many of these are actually deferred for 2 years. So a lot of these won't actually hit the market for 2 years. And we're going to check that out in the table later on. Remember, there's 3 components: earlier pays better, a bigger pays better, and a longer pays better. 3 components to the total amount of points. On top of that, of course, you get a referral bonus. And if you use my link in the video description, you get 5% bonus on top of your total sacrifice points. And you'll know that at the end of the 30-day sacrifice period. And we've only got just under 22 days to go. So it's not too far away, is it? Anyway, so earlier pays better. There's 1 day and 7 hours to go to get the earlier pays better bonus before it starts rising by 5%. That's really important to remember that there as well. Let me just post this in the video description, this link, just in case you want to get hold of it. Bam, there it is. All right, cool. So I've posted that. Is that posting? Yeah, they posted that. Nice. Francia's in the house there. Hello. Hi, Francia. Good to see you. And there's the link there for sure. All right, so here is the site here. So let's just scroll down. We've got the top 500 sacrifices. Obviously, we've got the Hex God Whale at the top, just sitting under $6 million. And just let me mute my other speaker. And $6 million, and of course 228 billion tokens to them. And of course, if we hit the I button, we can see what their details are. The 24th of February there, we've got the fact that they've sacrificed just under $6 million, and they did it on day 5. We're now in day number 9. We're in day number 9. And of course, the rate is 10,000. So they're getting the early rate. The first 10 days, you get 10,000 points for earlier pays better. So that's for $1 for 10,000 points. And of course, that's giving them 59.8 billion Hedron. No, not Hedron. What are we talking about? Liquid loans tokens. I apologize for the mix up there. All right, so LB, the longer pays better. That's the third component. They're getting the full amount, 150%, which is 2.5x. So they're going to get an additional 89.7 billion there. So 59 plus 89, pretty awesome. That's the Hex God Whale. And of course, that's a total of 228. Very, very cool. Remember, this earlier pays better, a bigger pays better. So bigger pays better ranks all the USD stuff between 1 and 2.5 proportionally. And obviously, they're gonna get the big benefit there, the 2.5 towards 2.5 there. Now, the third benefit, of course, is longer pays better. And of course, we can see that these guys have done that the full amount. So they're a big believer. These tokens will not hit the market though. So you can see that the fact that, let me just double check that there. The fact that all the $6 million was delayed for 24 months, these tokens will not hit the market for 24 months. So this is off the market. So that's pretty cool. And they won't be able to stake either. So they won't be earning the fees on the platform. So pretty interesting stuff there for that. So that's cool. I'm not sure I've got stuck there on the wallet. Let me just refresh this page. So we'll scroll down there. Anyway, so let's have a look at the top. That's the top. That's the top one there, the Hex God Whale. Number 2 is the Magic Carpet Ride. Man, they just jumped up, right? They've jumped up a lot, and they've not finished. So tomorrow will be the big day, day 10. $3.5 million they've sacrificed so far. That's a pool or a syndicate there, and of course that is where a whole ton of people from around the world go and combine their forces to try and get the whale type of bigger pays better multiplier, plus any other bonuses that they might get. And so that's pretty cool. So they've got 87 billion at the moment. And I think they're going to give the Hex God Whale a run for the money. But of course, the Hex God Whale can come in and trump at any time because you're talking about the Hex God Whale may have upwards of $2 billion or something like that. So it's not a big deal for them. Now, this is all the sacrifices they've been making in the magic pool, or magic carpet ride, as we call them. So they've pretty much made all these, and we can see on the 25th, 27th. So the 27th, they've got all these one sacrifices here, and they're really topped up, about $1 million or something like that. So pretty impressive from the magic carpet ride team. Then we've got 2 other millionaires sitting there below them. So we've still got 4 millionaires sacrificed. Very cool. Let's have a look at the top 50. And of course, we were sitting at 4,800 yesterday, I think. We're now at $5,000. So getting the top 500, you need $5,000. Remember, you can sacrifice any stable coins: USD, CUSD, TUSD, DAI, and BUSD. And of course, you can sacrifice on Ethereum and the Binance Smart Chain. So either of those 2 chains, you must do a stable coin. Don't sacrifice ETH and Hex. Some people have done that, but don't do that. It must be a stable coin. This is the so we're getting down into the nitty-gritty. We've got 7 hours to go until day 10. That's the last day before earlier pays better starts ramping up at 5%. So just take that into account. And of course, if we scroll down here, we've got the sacrifice total. It's been ticking up pretty nicely there. Obviously, this is the Hex God Whale came in here. We jumped from day number 4 or 5 there on the 22nd up to from 9.6 million up to 17.2 million. Then we tinkered along here. This here looks like the Magic Carpet Ride team. It did another big sacrifice, and there was another whale as well. So that's jumped up there as well. And now we're on day 9 over here at the whale. So day 7 to day 8 was a pretty big jump. And now we're on day 9. $25.3 million sacrifice. Amazing. So pretty cool. Sacrificed US dollar volume, time aligned per block network. And of course, we've got the Binance Smart Chain at $2.5 million now. That's really jumped up. $2.5 million on Binance Smart Chain. That's a really good sacrifice. Ethereum, of course, at 22.8 million on there. So that's the separated out there. Total is 25.3 million. Sacrificed US dollar volume per gratification. This is the really highlight, right? Because earlier pays better. We're used to that with the bonding curve. Okay, so we're used to that. And of course, bigger pays better. We're used to that between 1 and 2.5. Obviously, those 2 components were similar to Pulsechain and Pulsechain sacrifices. But this is the 3rd one. This is really unique. And of course, it is based on the Hex type of delayed gratification with staking. And that is having a sacrifice ladder instead of a staking ladder, sacrifice ladder. But here is the pretty big deal here. 11.7 million out of 25.3 million is actually delayed for 24 months. So they're going to get a bonus of 150% or 2.5x, but that stuff won't be hitting the market, and therefore it won't be able to be staked and earn the fees of Pulse and USDL. So really awesome stuff there, if you think about that. So nice. It's about 40%, something like that. So it's a big deal. Maybe higher than that, 20, 11, 40. Yeah, so maybe 45%. It's a pretty big deal. Obviously, compared to that, people that want their tokens immediately, you're talking about $9.1 million of volume at the moment. So 9.1 million out of 25.3. Not too bad, right? Not too bad. What's about just under 40%, maybe about 38%. So those will be able to be staked and earn fees and stuff like that. So obviously, we're expecting a massive ramp up our Pulsechain at the beginning, and we should get lots of people doing loans. Collateralized loans on the platform. So we should do pretty good business on liquid loans. And of course, we know that this has got a big following, and it's one of the bigger projects. It's what you want. You want to know that you're going to have strong user adoption straight out of the gate. And we know that this is a big chance for that. We know that it doesn't have the hurdles on a lot of the other blockchains where a liquid loans type of fork is being operated. And of course, we have seen some recent uptick on liquidity on Ethereum too, with the number of collateral loans taken out. So that's pretty positive for that too. But of course, this is a completely different thing. This is going to not have any competition like the other chains. And of course, this is going to be up from the start. So it's going to be a beautiful thing to see this play out. And of course, people will be able to buy PLS, Hex, and Pulsex with it. It's going to be really, really cool to see. And as I can see that a lot of the tokens are not, maybe 38, 40% of the tokens are coming out straight out of the gate. The rest of them will be coming out in the sacrifice ladder over 24 months at the big amount at the end there. So 12 months there in the middle and 24 months. And of course, 6 months is pretty big too. They've got just under $500,000 at the moment. And you got some coming out after 3 months. So you can see not only is that looking great, I think it's working well with that longer pays better. I think some other people might apply this technique as well for their sacrifice. but very, very cool. Number of wallets per US dollar, of course. We've got the Hex God whale right at the top there. And, of course, we've got some other whales in here as well. Pretty large ones. So it's pretty interesting to see that. This is getting a bit skewed now on the way it looks visually because you can hardly see the other stuff at the top there. But we've got 2 wallets in here. We've got, one wallet in here and 1 wallet in here pretty much. All right. So there is we've got 1,118 wallets now. Sacrificed less than 2,500. We've got 364 wallets under 5,000. We've got 199 wallets under 7,500. So this kind of 5,000 is kind of getting up to where you get a decent retail level. Obviously, and then we've got going into 10,000, 60 wallets under 10,000, and 180 wallets under 25,000. So there's sort of your middle-sized investors, retail investors. And then, of course, you get 40 at under 50, so you get up to that point there. So still some quite decent sacrifices in there, as we see. Getting top 500, we saw earlier, $5,000 what you need to do. Now, this is a pretty interesting one, of course. For 30, this has dropped dramatically. So the Hex God whale was sitting at 44%. Now it's down at 36% of the total supply there. And the Hex God whale, the Magic Carpet Ride has changed the percentages with its big increase in sacrifice. Plus, we had that other millionaire come in as well. So the Magic Carpet Ride's now sitting at 13.7% of all the loan tokens. But remember, this big red one here is not coming out for 24 months. So that's pretty awesome. And a certain amount of the Magic Carpet Ride team is not coming out for that period too. But of course, the Magic Carpet Ride's still got to sacrifice tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the big day. That will be kind of our biggest idea of when we see kind of what most of the supply will be. But of course, we've still got 20 days after that. But of course, it gets penalized 5% per day as it goes up. So it's going to be fascinating. Tomorrow really is the big day, day 10. We're in day 9 at the moment. As I say, day 9. And of course, we've got 7 hours to go and 40 minutes before we get into day 10. That's day 10 is the very last day to get your 10,000 points for $1. And that's a big deal, right? So cool. We're going to scroll down, of course, and let us. Yep, we're scrolling down here back to where we're going to go there. So these two charts are kind of the same thing, but they're shown from different perspective. And of course, for $1, you're going to be able to get 10,000 points. As the earlier pays better, that first part. And then tomorrow is the last day. And that's the 28th of February. On the 1st of March, it starts going up by 5% per day. In other words, you're going to get less loan token every day, all the way up to day number 30, which is the 20th of March. That's the final day of the sacrifice for liquid loans. On day 30, you're going to get 3,768. So that's the last day what you get. So you're way better off getting 3 times as much now for $1 for early pays better. The other thing, of course, is that this is the other way of looking at it, is that you're just going to keep dropping down. 10,000 points will get lower and lower and lower per dollar until you get to the end there. So that, folks, is the results at the moment. And I think that's super successful. Success breeds success. And it's kind of like that. It's the best way. And I like to point out the fact that, a lot of these tokens will be deferred. And I think this chart kind of gives that the best, that a lot of these tokens won't even be coming to the market for a long period of time. This is the only one, these near-term ones, this big candles, the ones that will hit the market straight running. So that's going to be pretty fascinating. We get a nice strong ramp up in the first couple of months. And this is kind of the only loan tokens that will be there, apart from the stuff that's on the platform itself. So very exciting to see that. Super exciting, of course. I think the team's pretty stoked from Liquid Loans. Watched a couple of their videos on Liquid Loans YouTube channel. They seem pretty happy, and why not? It's a pretty big success, hitting 25 million as well. Now, tomorrow's going to be the big day. What will this total be by the end of tomorrow? That's going to be a big ask, right? We're going to find out what that is. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, obviously, let's go look at Liquid Loans itself. So we're looking at the sacrifice here. We will come back to this page, but we're going to look at a few others there as well. So let's go to Liquid Loans. Here is the official site, of course, Liquid Loans. You can find the links in the video description. And, of course, 0% interest-free loans against your own PLS. So you never have to sell your PLS. So very bullish for Pulsechain holders. And, of course, if you've done Pulsechain sacrifice, very bullish. And then you can also borrow against that. So potentially a good tax benefit, as well as potentially a good way of taking that USDL, either putting it into the Liquid Loans platform and earning fees, and maybe a 10 to 30% APY or something in that vicinity. And of course, that's on volumes. And then, of course, price upside on top of that. The other thing, of course, is that you could take the USDL and buy more Pulse Hex, and more Hex, stuff like that, and increase your bags that way. So there's lots of different strategies to do. The other one, of course, just hold your USDL and have some stable coins there. I don't know why you'd just sit there. You might as well not collateralize, but there's that option too. Right, so that's pretty much how that works. And of course, this is going to be the interface. And they can't really open it to testing at the moment because they don't have Pulsechain testnet 3 yet available, and they want to get some idea of some good Pulse prices to bring in. Otherwise, it's kind of nonsense when you look at the numbers. So they will be opening it up as soon as they can for testing, but pretty much the UI is going to be pretty like this. So cool. If you haven't seen Jex's videos on YouTube, check out Jex's video. It does a lot of stuff with the user interface, and it's pretty cool. So this is the website, of course. You can check it all out. You can create a loan on it. You can earn PLS and loan token. You can earn PLS and USDL. This kind of summarizes it pretty easy for you. And of course, you can recycle a lot of stuff back around and earn more and more and more. So the compounding feature is really, really great. So that's pretty nice there as well. So that's the kind of highlight there. There's lots of knowledge stuff here. I like to look at how it works. How it works is a cool little 4-minute video. Check that out. And of course, the ecosystem is really cool as well. Basically, you can put PLS into the vault and borrow USDL. And then you can put that in the stability pool in PLS and liquid and more loan tokens. When you can take those loan tokens, put them in the loan staking, and you can earn USDL and PLS. Now, they obviously with the sacrifice, everyone that gets the loan tokens can put them into the vault there, and of course start earning USDL and PLS. Pretty nice, eh? And of course that's going to give you more volume, and plus if the prices all go up, PLS is successful, loan token will be successful, and so all the value is going to go up, right? So it's pretty awesome. And it's a great passive income as well. So you're winning on the volume and the price, potentially, if obviously Pulsechain is successful, as we all think it's going to be amazing. So cool. There's lots of different strategies. Of course, you don't even have to put your Pulse into the vault or borrow USDL. You can just buy a loan token on the market. Of course, you'll be able to buy USDL tokens as well, and then which is a stable coin, decentralized stable coin backed by PLS itself. And you could just put that in stability pool. So there's other ways of playing this platform. All right, cool. There's not going to be a lot of competition straight out of the gate, so it's going to pretty much dominate. You can see that it's going to have lots of collateral loans. A lot of the people trying to make a lot more money will have higher collateral levels than 1,000. 1,000 is pretty safe. It's a 10% loan. A lot of people will have a higher one than that, and you will see some people doing 50%. Borrowing 50%, borrowing much more. Getting even down towards the 100 and probably 150% collateral, which means they're borrowing a lot. And of course, they've got to just take care there for sure. So a pretty cool platform from that point of view. Now, if you are wanting to do a sacrifice for the liquid loans and participate, then you can get a 5% bonus, of course. And I've got my referral link in the video description, so you can go hit that. I always suggest reading everything so that you are fully aware of what's going on. But basically, you're going to get 5% on the total sacrifice. So this earlier pays better, bigger pays better, and longer pays better. And you get a 5% on the total of your sacrifice points that you get. And you'll know that at the end of the sacrifice period. So it's pretty cool. Now, obviously, you can hit this button here. You can also read the rewards. You get 5% on your sacrifice amounts, which is pretty good. If you become a referrer yourself, so you have to register your referral address for that to qualify. You also have to have sacrificed a minimum of $500 to make sure that referral is active, but you will get an extra 5% on top of everything else, so it's pretty good. And of course, you can actually be a referrer yourself, so you can refer to family and friends and other people. That's pretty cool. There's some cool examples here as well, so they're pretty neat. You can read through those. Basically, as a referee, if you receive a referral link and join the program by registering your wallet, so you must register your wallet. That was the thing that was probably a bit confusing for a lot of people. They got the referral and they didn't know whether they qualify, but you do need to register your wallet. So you can use my referral link in the video description to do that, and we'll show you how to do that in a second. So it's pretty cool. So if you did a sacrifice of $5,000, you would receive an extra $250 worth of bonus points. So that's more volume for you. And of course, if the price goes up, then that's more volume times price. So it's pretty good deal there. Also, there's self-refer if you get over 10 referrals. So if you go off and get over 10 people, they all qualify with the $500 sacrifice. Then you can get 10% of your own sacrifice points. So it's pretty cool again. All right, so you can hit one of this button here, the one join the referral program. There's also another one in the middle here of the page. You can hit that. Just click I understand. And of course, then you can actually register your wallet. So even if you're not going to go send out referrals, but you want the 5% bonus, this is what you do. You do have to register. So you hit the MetaMask, and then you only have to sign under the address that you're going to use to sacrifice your MetaMask, your ETH address that you're going to sacrifice, and you click the sign button. That's going to then give you a referral link, and that's basically means that you're registered. You don't have to actually do any referrals, go out and promote, but you will be able to get the bonus now that you've got this referral link, and then you can jump over. You can see it there. It's all private, so no one can see your address, your ETH address there, so you don't get doxed out. And it's got a cool referral there. You'll see mine in the video description. And of course, then you jump after you've done that. It's pretty simple. You then jump over to the sacrifice site. This is the official sacrifice site for liquid loans. You can see the sacrifice is now open. Started on 9th of February. We're on day number 9. And of course, day 10 is the last day for earlier pays better before it starts rising 5% per day. So you're going to get less loan token for that. The only way of offsetting that price for 5% price rise is by longer pays better, right? Where you get 6% more bonus every month that you delay. So it's the only way really offsetting that. But ultimately, you're lowering your max potential if you were going to stake, if you're going to sacrifice for 24 months anyway. So it isn't optimal there. So 7 hours and 32 minutes to go until day 9 ends. Then we get to day 10. As I say, it's the last day. Tomorrow is the last day before the earlier pays better starts rising by 5%. You are sacrificing for a political statement and an act of free speech. Like-minded community members may show their disapproval and rejection of corporate-owned centralized stable coins by sacrificing them. So they're talking about like USDC and USDT and things like that, in the hope that a different community-owned trustless algorithmic stablecoin protocol will emerge on the Pulsechain network. Obviously, USDL is the loan is their version of it, so that's cool. Now, to get the max points, of course, you can sacrifice on Ethereum mainnet or the Binance Smart Chain. So either of those you can use with your ETH-based wallet. Only USD Tether, True USD, DAI, BUSD will count towards the sacrifice. So don't send ETH or don't send a Hex. Definitely don't send Hex. Some people have done it, but not many. But just don't do it because they're just after the stable coins. Your sacrifice must come from your own wallet, and you must hold the private keys to that wallet, and not from an exchange. So it must be from your wallet that you control the keys. Very, very cool. Now, if we scroll down further down here, there are 3 ways, as I say again. Earlier pays better, and of course, you're going to get 10,000 points at the moment for $1. You can see that we're on day 9, day 10. It's going to be over. It starts rising after day 11. So 28th tomorrow of February, 28th of February is day 10. That's the last day to get the 10,000 for 1 there. The second component is bigger pays better. Obviously, the bigger the sacrifice, you get a bigger payment. You're going to rank yourself versus everybody else higher. And of course, the top one is 2.5x. We know that at the moment the Hex God Whales got that spot, and of course 1 point below is at the bottom there. So if you're doing, I don't know, if you're doing something like a small amount, maybe $500, something like that, you might get 1.03, 1.05, something like that, a multiplier. So that gives you an idea. You got to rank yourself up to get hold of that. The Hex Gold Whale has really changed it, and the Magic Carpet Ride team has changed that bonus because obviously they're such a big US dollar sacrifices, they've pushed everyone down. So take that into account. You can actually jump there. I think we've actually got the estimate. Let's go up to the liquid loans. We're going to jump up here and have a look at the liquid loans one, just to show you the idea of what the sacrifice there is at the top. So they've got an estimate here of this. So 2.5x to 2.14 is the volume multiplier estimate there. So that gives you a guide. The Magic Carpet Rides volume multiplier, that's the biggest pay better, 2.14 to 1.93. So you can see because their US dollar sacrifice is so big, they're really eating up a lot of the bigger pays better. Take into account. So let's have a look at the bottom 50, and we're going to see it. So if you had $5,000, let's see what the multiplier they're going to estimate. This is estimated, by the way. So 1.23 to 1.23. So if you're doing 5,000, you can probably reasonably expect a multiplier around about 1.23. Just to give you an idea. And if you're doing, like I say, like $500, it's probably about 1.03, 1.05, something like that. So just take that into account. All right, cool. So if you are a smaller player and you're not part of the Magic Carpet Ride team, then you probably best thing is to you can either get the tokens up front, or if you want to get a bigger multiplier, you have to delay and go for the third component, bigger pays better. So that's the third one there, and that's where we go up to. Longer pays better is the third one. That's kind of good for everybody. Everybody can get access to this big bonus, and as I say, 6% per month bonus. So that's what's that? 138% for 23 months. On the final month, the last month, month 24, that jumps to 12% for that month. So month 24, 12%. The total was 150% or 2.5x, whatever you got points. So it's pretty awesome. That's for delaying your gratification. And as we say on here, this is what this chart here is looking like. So we can see that 11.7 million is delayed. It's amazing. Let me just pull up the calculator, get an accurate figure for that. 11.7 million divided by 25.3. That's, like I say, 46% of the loan tokens will not even hit the market for 2 years. 46%, that's pretty good, right? So even though there's a positive, right, the big sacrifice is real positive because it means the project's very successful. People believe in it, big money believes in it. But on the other hand, it's also 46% of the loan tokens will not even hit the market until month 24. And of course, we can see all the rest of it not even hitting the market at all until the months come past there over the next 24 months. So it's kind of cool, right? The other thing, of course, is that so it's an open question whether if you get your tokens today and you stake them and you're earning good APY on those, whether you'll outbeat this delayed gratification where you're getting 150% more volume here. So it's going to be interesting to see where that play out. Obviously, on the platform, you're going to be earning, loan tokens, PLS, and stuff like that. So it's going to be, it's going to be USDL and stuff like. It's going to be interesting to see that play out. It's kind of an empirical question, so we'll wait and see. At the moment, of course, we've got 9.1 million up there at who want it instantly. So this first candle here, they're going to get it instantly. They're going to be able to stake that on the platform. So let's go put that number 9.1. I think I said divided by a 25.3. So that is 36% at the moment. Obviously, tomorrow's a big day. It's the last big day of earlier pays better before it starts rising by 5%. So we'll have a pretty good idea tomorrow of where that will lie. So cool, 36%. That's not too bad. So 1 in 3 tokens. So cool. And if we look at the top here, we've got an estimated 637 at the moment. So we times it, so they're not going to get as many tokens though, right? So they can't do the straight percentage there because obviously the dollars get multiplied further out there. So cool. There's not going to be near as many of those in the market. It's going to be great. All right, so let us jump there and go back to here. So that's the 3 things. We got earlier pays better. That's the first one. Bigger pays better. That's the second one. And of course, longer pays better is the third one. And longer pays better is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck, I would say, especially if you're sacrificing now before the rate gets up for earlier pays better too high. So this is kind of the key one. If you want to really get a lot more loan tokens, you think you're going to do better than just staking instantly on the platform. But it's going to be interesting to see which one wins out there. All right, cool. Duration there, of course, is for 30 days, the process. If you are going to delay with longer pays better, you've got to use the cents part of your sacrifice to determine. So if you're doing $10,000 and you want it instantly, the loan tokens instantly, so you can go stake them on the platform, you want 10,000.00 cents. If you want to delay, of course, 6 months, you put 10,000 and 10,000.06, so 6 months. If you want to delay for 12 months and get the longer pays better bonus, that'd be $10,000.12 for 12 months. If you want to delay for the full 150% extra or 2.5x, you'd go $10,000.24. Anything above 24 cents, of course, is going to default to 0.00. In other words, you're going to get the tokens immediately. So if you did a sacrifice of 10,076 cents, you're going to get that instantly. It's not going to be counted. Anything over 24 cents gets defaulted to 0.00. So hopefully there's the explanation there. I just told you it verbally, but that's pretty cool. You can sacrifice multiple times, of course. Very, very cool. And what else we got going in there? That's probably it. So how do you sacrifice? Basically, once you've got your once you've got your wallet registered as a referral link, you can then jump over to the sacrifice. Get this copy of this wallet. This is the official wallet. You can also watch the video that confirms that that is the official wallet. And then you can go to your MetaMask and then just do a transfer, just like you would transfer to a friend, just as we did in Pulsechain, stuff like that. You can just transfer your amount to the sacrifice address, and you will get that, as I say, that 5% referral bonus at the end of the sacrifice period. You must register that wallet, though, for sure. So you can hit the link in the video description, and you can get hold of that registration there. Cool. All right, nice. So that's pretty much that for liquid loans. Hopefully that's been cool. Let's do one more refresh of the total balance there. And let's see how that's going. Bam, $25,276,000. Let's see what it's going to be tomorrow. Will we be at 28 million tomorrow, 30 million tomorrow? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think we'll get a nice big jump tomorrow for sure. It'll be interesting to see how big that is. It'll be interesting to see whether we get we get another millionaire coming in on the last day, or a couple more millionaires. It's going to be fascinating to see whether we get up to maybe 5 or 6 millionaires. It's going to be interesting stuff to do as well. So pretty cool. All the best for this. This is definitely, I think, the best fit in Richard Heart to complement Richard Heart's Pulsechain, Pulsex, and Hex, because it's kind of like lending your own bank, 0% interest based on your thing. Obviously, there's a fee in there, so let's not be shy about that. When you do collateralize loans, that fee is actually paying people with the loan token. So that's like a little fee there. Pretty much most of the time it should be 0.5% or whatever people are getting their loans out for, but that's actually coming through. That's what's funding quite a bit of the process, apart from the liquidations that's possible if you got below 110%, or if there's a global liquidation at 150%. So that's we have seen on liquidity on Ethereum that it got pretty close to that a couple of times, around that 150% mark, but bounced straight out of it. And I think it's not inevitable either. It has to be called, as I understand it. So cool. All right, so nice on that. That is liquid loans. Let's get into the chat. We're going to get on to Hex staking next. So we're going to jump over to Hex stake. There we are, and we're going to talk about that as well. I've got no Hex in this account, but we're going to talk about it, and nevertheless. So let me just scroll back up here. How far away did I get on this? Miles behind. I mean, you guys have been so busy, so good. So welcome everybody. It's a real pleasure to have you all here, of course. I'm your host, Superman, and of course, welcome to Hex Token channel. If you haven't subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. And if you want to join as a member, of course, hit the button. We've got Pulsechain, Hexkins, Richard Heart Club, and of course, we're pretty much covering non-stop content in this ecosystem, because this year, 2022, 2023 is going to be the year of virality, mass adoption, and big money coming in. So unless there's a world collapse, we're going to be good. We're going to be looking good. All right, cool. Matt's Francier's got the high on again. Hey, Francier. And Matt says last day one for liquid loans. I only really watched videos on it late last night. I know you can't give financial advice or investment advice, so I'm retirement advice. A lot of thoughts on this. So there was my big cover for liquid loans. Did a full cover there, Matt, even though I'm catching up to you. That's for sure. I think that, like I said, I'm covering it because I think it's going to be a good one for sure. Francier's got hello guys, and Crypto Down Under says, is there a flat bonus multiplier at the end like PLS? There is a flat bonus. No, there's no flat bonus in this one, Crypto Down Under. So for liquid loans, as I just showed you, there's the earlier pays better, bigger pays better, and longer pays better. Brazolji's got the emojis in the house. Hey, great to see Brazolji as well. Just an epic community member, Brazolji. So big shout out to you. Tierra says, hey, everybody, what's up with Pulsex no longer being a buyback and burn? Hearing it everywhere. Hey, so Tira, we talked about that yesterday, and of course, it's not quite like that. It's not going to be quite like that. So we will see how that plays out. We need probably a bit more explanation from Richard about that at the moment. I don't expect to see, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't expect to see all the buy and burn to be not burned. So there's the total amount of Pulsex is at the beginning is the total amount. There's no extra inflation on that total amount, right? So if we estimate that Pulsex is around about, I can't remember my exact number, maybe 122 trillion or somewhere in that ballpark it was. Of course, that includes the Origin account, which is kind of inactive liquid Hex. Then it's going to be interesting. So yeah, that's pretty much how we kind of see that. And of course, that total amount's not inflated. There's no inflation on that. The question is if the Pulsex is being used as a staking incentive on Pulsex, and therefore you get XPLX tokens in return, and of course all the buy and burns go into that pool, that makes more PLX in that pool, then your value of your XPLX will be worth more per PLS. So every XPLS will be worth more. Then that's, I don't expect it all to go in there. Maybe there's a certain amount of the buy and burn going in there, the magical buy and burn. The rest will actually be burned and decreased off the market. Otherwise, you've got the total amount at the beginning, and it will stay the total amount, right? So that's what I'm expecting to see. I do expect the buy and burn to happen. So we do need a bit more explanation from Richard about that at this stage. So cool. Hopefully that's kind of answered that one, Tierra. We need a bit more explanation. That's probably where we're heading with that, but I don't expect it to be. It has to be a buy and burn, otherwise the token won't really get the big pump of mentals that we're expecting. Loyal Noob Hexagon says, dude, my head is going to pop with all the sacrifices and all that. I'm going to move to Australia and disappear on the West Coast and live off the land. Absolutely, Loyal Moon. So that's the point I've been making, is that be careful with all the sacrifices. Some of them may not actually qualify for the Howey test. And also a lot of the projects are probably going to be rubbish. So you're going to be very careful out there. The other thing, of course, is if I've always said that this channel is a RH Maxi channel, and of course it's called Hex Token channel for a reason, and that is the fact that Richard Hart is the one that those are the ones that you're going to win. You're going to win, and every time you go outside of those projects, you take on more risk. You take on more risk, and so the idea is that fact that you're going to win big on this. Like Pulse goes up, Pulsechain goes up. Hex goes up, you're going to win all that. All that's where the big money in. That's where the big amount of people are. You want to go where all the people are. You don't want a stadium with 100 people in it. You want a stadium with 30,000, 120,000 in it, right? You want a big stadium. That's where you're going to have a lot of good times, right? So that's your probability. You've increased your probability big time by having a big audience, and that's what Richard does. I think he probably leads the biggest independent crypto audience and investors in crypto, and that's why I think he's probably the only one that can actually pull off a system state fork of Ethereum, and obviously that's the case. So that's where I put think about that in terms of sacrifices. There are going to be a lot of them. We've seen them popping up left, right, and center. They're all spouting OG credentials and all software programming credentials, but you've still got to think about the actual underlying model. I'm not saying that a couple of them might be very good. You just got to really keep your thinking hat on there and think, has this got enough people following this? Is this tokenomics really going to get user adoption to actually pay me out? Is this actually going to be, am I going to be able to sit back and relax? Those kind of things you need to think about. So some good thoughts there. Brazology says Hedron price is really tanking from the sell-off. Yeah, Brazology, we expected that, Brazology, but when's it going to pick up? That's the key. Is it going to pick up? And if so, when? That's probably the key on Hedron. We'll talk about that later. That's the last topic for today's live show. Brazology says that's why you don't give coins for free. Yeah. Well, we know that the total amount of inflation, but we don't know when that inflation bubble is going to have a wave. We just don't know what that's going to exactly look like. Is it going to get exhausted? People stop claiming. Maybe they forget about Hedron. They've got these stakes, but they don't claim them. So it's going to be interesting to see that play out. And then maybe some big buyers come in and start buying up the project. Or is it just too much stuff, too many things, not really enough economic energy behind it, and the market just lets it go its way? So it's going to be fascinating to see it play out. It is an experiment. And of course, some of the features have not been unlocked from I can tell the borrowing and the HSIs. So it's going to be interesting to see that play out over time. I think it's got a reasonable chance. I think it's got a reasonable chance. Matt and Barley says, did you see my Twitter message? Also, Rackham seems not interested in liquid loans. Not that he really needs a loan, but as investment. Yeah, I talked about that yesterday, Matt. I saw your message. And of course, Rackham is not interested in Pulse ones at the moment because he's a bit unhappy with the way quite a few parts of the community is being immature or arguing about nothing. Like I guess I don't know if he's referring to the Matty Allen comments or what. I'm not sure, but yeah, he just decided to keep out of that. So it would be unlikely that he comes in on any projects. And of course, he's going to back the winners. He's going to back the RH projects. Going to back the Pulsechain and the Pulsechain. This is what I keep saying to you. If you're going to do speculate, make sure it's only a small percentage. You want to keep on the main game. The main game is Pulsechain, Pulsex, and Hex. Don't get too lost in all these new projects. There will be some good ones in there, but you got to be really thinking about it. Is what I say. And the first big thing is do they have a big enough audience? Are they going to get the adoption? Otherwise, it's going to go fall flat. We don't want you guys to get into these projects where you're losing money left and right because you've gone for these, big hype but low audience stuff. And of course, that you won't have that problem in Pulsechain because when that bridge opens up, hundreds of thousands, millions of people potentially coming in through that bridge. So just keep that big thinking on. I think some of the let me leave it at that. I've got a few comments to put on that, but let me leave it at that. Craig's got Wadding's in the house. Hey, Craig Wadding. They got the old emojis. Love it. And Stake says UFOs are real, and everybody knows it. Yeah, I was watching some UFOs movies and documentaries the last couple of days. Business MTK says whoop whoop. And gas is cheap, says human cheap. Yeah, it has been cheap lately. Guys, Brazil says, hey guys, and let's jump up here. Brazil says, I had planned on it, but something in me is pausing. I probably will, but I don't know. Says Brazil. Billy Bob's in the house. Hex Token channel member. Hexkins do not need loans if you stake and chill. These people are new banking minimum. Yeah, I would say the only counter to that, Billy, is I agree with you. The only counter to that, of course, is if you can pick up by getting a 10% loan, just doing 1,000% collateral on liquid loans, you can pick up a bit more volume. And if you get a 10% more volume times the price rise, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. If you get 1,000x on the price rise on 10% volume, that's a pretty big deal. Dave Morales is in the house. Hey, Dave. And Sandy Beach is hi, everybody. Hey, Sandy Beach, good to see you. And I saw you over, I think it was over in the Magic Carpet Ride. I think you're over there. So nice to see you there, Sandy Beach. And of course, what else we got? Rare Grooves in the house. Just minted my Hedron. Hedron will be duplicated, so you get the 2x multiplier out of the gate plus your 10x multiplier. Absolutely. So the first 10 days on Hedron, we're going to get to that later, is a 10x multiplier. And of course, there will be a copy onto the Pulsechain. So you do get a double X, get a second go as well. So nice. Tin Top says, got the old Hex emojis in there. Love it. Looking pretty good there. And what else we got? Billy Bob says, at least Hedron does not cost you anything. Yeah, apart from the gas fees, doesn't cost you anything. Yeah, it's all free. So nice. Sandy Beach has got the Hex emojis in there as well. Love it. It's now says, nothing but gas. Nothing but gas. Craig Wadding says, UFOs are real. My ex hit me with an unidentified flying object once. That's pretty funny, Craig. True. Billy Watt says, do Sundays early morning. So the gas prices are the cheapest between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. on Sundays, UTC time, 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. Yesterday on Sunday, was it Sunday? Yeah, yesterday, the gas fees, I know it's Sunday somewhere places and around the world, but Sunday was yesterday for me. And of course, the gas prices were super cheap. We got down, I think we were down at 20 Gwei. Somewhere around that mark. So it was pretty awesome yesterday on the ETH chain. So good time to claim your Hedron pretty much. Cool. Sandy B says gas fees have been low all weekend. I've noticed. Yep, absolutely. Cost me around $150 in gas to mint all my Hedron. I hope it was worth it. Says it's now. Yeah, well, obviously, if you've got really small stakes, stakes, it may not be worth minting them. Maybe just claiming them for the 10x bonus, but don't mint them until the price is really low. If you've got small amount of B shares and stuff, just be careful. You really need to take the price of Hedron times the amount that you're going to get, less the cost of the fee for claiming and the fee for minting. So you need to have a profit in there. Otherwise, you're going to just lose money, at least straight out of the gate. You just don't know what Hedron price is going to do as we move forward. Francisco, woo-hoo-hoo. It's now says, let's jump through some of these. Loyal Noob says, will somebody tell me what the square emojis are with the fist? And I think that's Richard Hart. Yeah, so that's Richard Hart. He's doing his little punch fist thing. I've used that for the channel. And of course, on the top on his fist there, I've added in Hex Token channel. That's what the black wording on his fist there is. So I love the attitude, right? It's all about attitude. And I love that. That's Richard Hart for us. Look behind our host. You'll see a larger picture. Yeah, so there's the picture behind me. Let me just jump out of that way. We got the picture. I can't even get it. I've got my chair in the way. Let me just oh no, I'm not going the right way. So you can sort of see it there. It's looking pretty good. All right, cool. All right. That was terrible. I tried to actually show it and I didn't actually show that much of it. So it's shameful. It's now says you are a channel member, you get the icon. That's right. So if you want to if you join as a channel member, you get that icon with this one next to you. It's pretty cool. Plus you get access to all the emojis. So cool. It's Hex Token's profile pic. Yeah, that's right. I love it because it's so attitudinal, right? It just says, I'm going to win. I'm a fighter. It reminds me of Rocky Balboa, the old fighter thing. And I love the attitude for sure. And thank you guys. There's Noob. What else? Let's jump through some of these. Brendan's in the house says, hey, Superman and Hexham. Missed a few streams. Watching the replay still. Hey, nice one. Welcome, Brendan. It's always a pleasure. Let's jump through some of these. I'm jumping through, folks. We're going to get towards our next topic, which is hex staking. Brendan says, I minted some Hedron light last night. Nice. Let's keep going on here. Sandy Beach says, I claim my Hedron too. Greg says, late to the party. Woohoo! Hey, Greg, good to see you in the chat. And Jesse Pitboss is in here. Hey, Jesse, Pit Boss is here. Hey, you just missed it. I don't know whether you were here for the Liquid Loans coverage, but we just covered Liquid Loans, Jesse, and great to see you in the house. Jesse's from the Liquid Loans team, super smart dude, and also is a musician as well, plays lots of different musical instruments, I should say. So big shout out to Jesse in the house there. Lord Noob Hexagon says, hey, Pulse Hex, I'm totally stoked on that. I'm going to get all crazy, absolutely. And Red Groove says you can get over $1 billion Hedron on Uniswap for $1,000 right now. Just bought some. Yeah, I was going to say that. So yeah, for the price of Hedron at the moment, you can get $1,000. We'll buy you 1 billion Hedron. So that's pretty interesting. That's a pretty big amount if you think about it. If you were a Hex staker, that would be pretty big. That would put you, right up there. Maybe not dolphin level, maybe the next level down, somewhere in the squids possibly. Is possibly in there somewhere. I don't know, just guessing, but that's probably where somewhere. Craig Wading says, hey, Jess. And Jess in the house. Yeah, Jess is in the house, all right. I came in late, just got up from my siesta. Lol. Hey, nice one, Jean. Those siestas, I'd love to do that. Got the claps in the house. And Hextravagance in the house. Evening, peeps. Good to see you. And lots of going on there for sure. So I'm going to have to jump through a couple of these. He is a Kiwi down under, lol. Yeah, I'm a Kiwi down under. We're going to have to joke. Bob Wells in from Canada. Hello from Canada. Hey, good to see you. Woo-hoo-hoo. And Brazil says, oh, thank you, Hex Token. You're most welcome. I remember my comment earlier. And Chris is in the house from Texas. Good to see Chris from Texas. Was it the Lone Star State? Texas, the Lone Star State. I've probably seen that on a movie. That's why I know that. Matt and Barley says, sorry, that was the dumbest question ever asked. And Jesse says, 2022 is the year Pulsechain redefines EVM chains. Absolutely, it does. Cool. Hexacat's in the house. Hey, all. Good to see Hexacat. And a Superman, okay, says Little Noob. I'm just jumping through some of these. Billy Bob says, all of these extra SAC projects remind me of the ICO projects in 2018. Most go to zero. This one will be in 24 months when founders dump on your head, says Billy Bob. And yeah, that's why I say you do have to be careful with the projects you select for these. All right, so let's jump through some of these. Sandy Beach says, I believe Liquid Loans is a great project and great for the ecosystem too. I agree with you there, Sandy. And Brownie says, just claimed, admitted my top 3 stakes in Hedron for the airdrop. Nice one, Brownie. It's not hard to see these guys coming. Yep. How I made it says Liquid Loans is our way out of the Biden tax. That's true. Cool. We've got good stuff going on there. T-shirts will always be great. Yeah, absolutely will be. And I think that's probably, let me have a look, just jump some. Lord Noob says, hey, Superman, I've been to New Zealand, but it's my top next 3. You have an awesome country. Yeah, it's a pretty beautiful country. Unfortunately, our leaders at the moment are completely nuts and bananas. But other than that, our country is beautiful. So cool. Sandeep's in the house. Hey, Sandeep from India. Good to see you. Hello. Very, very cool. So I'm just up to about all these. Bob Wells is in the house. Everybody's working for the weekend. Yeah, absolutely. Let me have a look here. So, jumping through here. Chris says, don't mess with the Texas. Texas is our slogan. Yeah, I think the Lone Star State. Yeah, something like that. I love the program, says T. Hey, good to see you in the house. Hey, good to see everybody. Welcome. I try to go through all the messages between topics. So without trying to get better and better at doing that, it's always a bit tricky. Here we are, folks, on Hex. We've jumped from Liquid Loans. This is our second topic, Hex staking. And, of course, we're going to go through some of the basics. Obviously, this is Hex Token channel. And, of course, Hex is the Richard Hart's only working product at the moment that's actually live. So we're going to go through that. So if we had 1,000, let's say we had 10,000 Hex, and we have 10,000 Hex at the moment, you could actually put that in there. And, of course, you can stake that Hex, right? So what happens that when the T-share, we know the T-share rate's basically just short of 21,000 Hex per T-share. T-share means trillions of shares. Why is there such big numbers in Hex? Because there's so much of the compound interest in calculations need big numbers. And of course, that's why there's so many tokens, as well as, the high inflation at the beginning. So cool. All right. So what is the inflation rate of Hex? It is up to 3.69. And of course, it is actually in effect, it's much lower. So based on the Crypto Sparbucks estimates, inflation has actually been just over 1%, and that itself has been lowered by the Origin accounts staking a little bit as well, and not staking. So the Origin account plays a really pivotal role in the APY of Hex. So we actually don't get the full amount of Hex. The rest of the inflation, of course, is deferred into the future. We have 6.3 years now as the average stake period now. And of course, that's the new all-time high. And of course, that means that inflation is deferred well into the future. And of course, inflation on inflation is deferred into the future when you're staking that long. That is pretty awesome. So actually, Hex is a relatively low inflation environment. Yeah, that's right. It's part of the genius of Hex. So really is cool. And of course, you still get a really good APY. The other thing that makes it fair, of course, is the T-share rate. T-share rate means that people coming in today versus people coming in tomorrow, they get fair rates because it adjusts for ROIs that people are getting. So it's really cool like that. And that's really the genius, and that's really the heart and genius is the share rate. And of course, if you're coming in a year's time, the share rate will be higher. And of course, that means today I get a better rate than the people in the future. And in a year's time, those people there will also be in the same position for people that get in maybe a year later. So it really just adjusts as time goes on. Very cool formula. All right, so if we had 10,000 Hex and we stake that, we can stake it, of course, the maximum we can stake is 5555. That's 15.2 years. Remember, Hex has a 364-day year. You heard it here, folks. 364-day year, and of course, it's not 365. So 364 days, and therefore you can each year you times that. That's 3,640, and so 3,641 is the maximum period that you can stake and get all the effective bonuses. So if you do 3641, you're going to see that 10,000 there. You're going to get 1.429. Now, what the thing is that so the share rate at the moment, T-share for a day stake is 21,000 approximately, and of course you can see that here 20,989. This is the magic. The share price is the magic in Hex. Okay, that's the real magic. Obviously, you need people to come in and use the system. That's a no-brainer. You need that demand. But other than that, the share price is the kingpin here, and this makes it fair for everybody, no matter when you're coming in. To get the same amount of T-shares as well. In the future, of course, this T-share rate is going up and to the right. That means that there's going to be less and less T-shares. There's currently about 10.7 million T-shares, and that's going to go down over time. In fact, it's going to go down faster than most people have modeled. People model quite reasonably and conservatively. So if you see the Crypto Sparbook model on YouTube, you'll see that that's actually a pretty reasonable approach. But of course, I think that's going to get absolutely smashed by the way that the fact that people early unstake as a function of the USD price, and so that's going to change the whole modeling completely and make things even better. So it's going to be a lot less T-shares than modeled, and of course there's going to be higher payouts with penalties on top of interest over that period of time. So it really is going to be pretty fun. For those that are willing to delay gratification, you will be getting a whole ton of Hex in the future. It's going to be a wonderful place as a function of the USD price. So interesting stuff. So the dynamics, the incentives are sometimes a little bit counterintuitive or a little bit overwhelming, but that really is amazing. So anyway, for every year that you stake, of course, you're going to get 20% more on your Hex. So if you put 10,000 Hex in there, you're going to get longer pays better. You're going to get 20% more per year up to 10 years approximately, which is 3,641 days. You will not beat that out. So if you did see my T-shares here, you got 1.429. So you got 10,000 Hex plus your effective bonus in Hex. That gives you 30,000 Hex. You take that 30,000, you divide it by the share rate, and that gives you your T-shares. So 30,000 divided by 20,989 gives you 1.429 T-shares. So hopefully that's very clear. Once again, you're going to invest 10,000 Hex. You get 20% bonus for every year. If you do 10 years or 3,641 days, you will get the max bonus there. And of course, that's 20,000 Hex. That gives you an effective Hex of 30,000. It's kind of like a real big bonus for you staking longer. Okay, the T-share rate itself is going up all the time. That has nothing to do with your effective bonus. But when it does go up, it's going to give you less T-shares, right? So that's going up all the time. So if I do in a year's time from now, this might be 30,000 Hex, of course. And so 30,000 there divided by 30,000 is going to give me one T-share. In a year's time, I could get one T-share. That's probably quite reasonable, right? I probably will get one T-share in a year's time. All right, so cool. That is pretty much how that works. And yeah, it's going to actually go up faster than people expect as well. It's going to be pretty crazy. Now, obviously in 2020, we had a lot of stakes coming out, a lot of big billion candles. We've got far less of those at the moment because if you've seen the share rate, the global staking period, it's a lot different now. So we're actually going to pull it up on here. I wasn't going to talk about that, but I probably should. Let us go into here, the Hex Vision. I'm going to pull that up over to the right. Okay, so you can put 10,000, you can stake it, whatever you want. So you can do 365. So if we do 365 days. It's so simple, right? You get your Hex, you may buy it on Uniswap, you stake for 365 days, and you click the stake button, and there we are. It's going to be staked. It's going to show down here in the active stakes, and it's going to have your T-shares and how much you get per day. So a 1 year stake, of course, this is going to be 10,000. It's going to get 20%. Remember, every year that you stake, you get 20% bonus. So 365 or 364 even. Let's put 364. I don't want to confuse. So 364, you get what, 1994. But of course, 365 is going to work out to the max. So if you actually average out for the max effective period, it's going to be 364. There is through 2,000, and of course that's 1 year. Every year that you go up, so 730 days, you're going to get an extra effective bonus. This is rewarding you for staking longer. So you can see 730. So it's actually going to be 728. Actually, 728 after the first year. 728. That's not quite right. There's 732. It's going to be 732. Got to make sure I get my maths right. 732. No, 730. All right, 731 is it? 731. 731. Is it going to be? No, that's not right either. That means it's just almost there. Maybe I should have stuck with 730. 730. That's close enough. 730. So that's going to give you. It's probably 729. I knew it was going to be slightly less than that. 729. Yeah. All right. So let's go back to our 374. So hey, there's always some humor on here as well. When you're doing this live, it's always a bit different. All right. So 729. That's going to give us 4,000. That's 2 years, and that's 20% per year kind of thing. So nice. And you get 4,000 Hex bonus on there. So you got 10,000 plus 4,000 for your effective bonus for staking longer. That's your reward. You're going to have 14,000 Hex effectively. It's not real. You've only really got 10,000 Hex, but the system is going to give you that bonus for staking longer. And of course, it's going to take that 14,000 divided by the 20,989. That's the value for one T-share. And it's going to give you 0.0667 T-shares, which is 667 B shares, isn't it? So a 1 T-share divided by 1,000 is 1,000 B shares, right? So 667 B shares, and of course that's what Hedron is based on the B shares. So you know, T share is a trillion, and B is for a billion, and of course there's 1,000 billions in a trillion. So that's how that works. Cool. All right, it's got little explanations here as well. You can read those, but that's basically the idea. And of course, once you stake, you get that on as well. Now you can also do a staking ladder, so you can do stakes every year, have them coming out. But of course, you want to make sure that you're getting more interest than you are fees, right? So if you're going to have fees for staking, maybe it's going to cost you 10. At the moment, Gwei is really cheap, right? So relatively speaking for Ethereum. And of course, if you make a stake day, you're going to have the fee for that. And of course, if you do a staking ladder, it's going to have a fee for that. Now, there is a question about the S-load function on when you actually do unstakes on the ETH chain, and that's been a problem. That's why that drove the need for Pulsechain. So that is a real issue that's going to come up. So as the S-load function basically goes through, let's say you got your T-shares, you got T-shares, got a whole ton of shares, and then everybody else has got shares. So there's a big bucket of shares, and then there's a reward pool, a big bucket of Hex interest, Hex inflation, and there, and penalties, of course. And then, of course, the amount of shares you have versus everybody else is how much of that reward pool you're going to get. So pretty much that's how simple it is. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what's going to happen there. And yeah, that's what you get. The S-load function runs every day through that reward pool based on how many shares you got. It runs through, and it gives you your allocation of inflation every day of your stake. So if you've got 365 days, it's going to go through 365, and that S-load function's been pushed up by Vitalik and the Ethereum team, and it's made it really expensive. So that is an issue longer term. But obviously, Pulsechain is going to help with that, and of course, maybe ETH 2.0 might help with that too, with sharding and lower the prices as well. So it's always possible. Obviously, we've seen the prices of Gwei drop a little bit lately. So we've got things like that going up. Those are kind of wild card stuff, but that is the case. But in any case, if you do 10,000, you're going to get this bonus 20% more per year. The maximum is 3641. And of course, you're going to get 1.429 T-shares there. Very, very cool. All right, so your stake's going to show up there. That's how simple it is. And you can see the cost of a T-share in US dollars. So a T-share price is a function of the amount of Hex it costs, your share price, and times the Hex price. So obviously, if it costs you 20,989 Hex and Hex is worth 20 cents, it's going to be 20,989 times 20 cents. That would be the actual share price. And so you can actually see the share price is actually climbing. So if we jump over to here, you can actually see the share price is climbing here. We peaked out at about $9,700 or somewhere like that. Was it 9,000? Was it quite that high? Maybe it was 9,000 on that one. Let me just have a look up there. We peaked out at $9,200 was the highest T-share price. Now you can pick up a T-share. So that's the amount of Hex that you'll need for one T-share at $2,951. So way cheaper, a third of the price. But once again, if Hex price rallies up, this all changes very fast. And of course, we could get, if we go back to all-time high, it will get back over $10,000. It will smash past there, probably get up to 12, 13,000, somewhere in that ballpark if we went back to the Hex all-time high. So it's a pretty big deal. Right, so that's pretty much how this is on go.hex.com. Of course, is the official DApp, of course, that's going to operate. That operates on Ethereum. This is where people make their stakes, their native stakes, as it were. And of course, this will also be accessible on Pulsechain. Of course, and all we have to do is switch over to the Pulsechain network to see it on Pulsechain, and I've done videos on that, so that's cool. Right, so we've got these stakes at the moment. This is everybody's stakes at the bottom here. There's the next 15 years, and of course, if you are doing a stakes, you want to pick a period where there's not many stakes, right? So you might pick any of these gaps here. These are our big towers. You can see the big towers of stakes. And of course, when you pass the year 2030, there's lots of room there for you to stake out, especially if you're going to do 10-year stakes. You can stake out and all in here, this kind of period here, and you don't have a lot of stakes at the moment coming out. Obviously, over time, there's going to be lower towers over time because the T-share rate is going up and to the right, so there's going to be a lot less T-shares. We saw the Hex God Whale come in, and before it was too late, staked $1 billion. They grabbed themselves they grabbed themselves 149,150 T-shares. It is crazy stuff, but they're going to dominate T-shares way out here. So it was a big statement of belief there by the Hex God Whale there as well. So cool. All right. So we also know that Hex Scale is going to come in and stake after there too. So you're in good company out there, and the T-share rate's going to fall. So this crimson line in the back shows you the total amount of T-shares cumulatively over the period of the next 15 years. And you can see that there's a big jump here in 2029, and it goes all the way up there. So it's going to be fascinating. A lot of these T-shares at the front here, these people that are short staking with big OG things are going to, they're basically T-shares are going to expire. T-shares are going to disappear. There's 10.7 million now. They're going to go down. And of course, if you're holding on to T-shares past the average of 6.3 years, if you're staking out T-shares past that period of time, you're going to be rising through the ranks from, I don't know, from a squid all the way up to tinkering turtles. Tinkering turtles up, was it squid, then up to dolphins. You'll be rising through the ranks because you'll be holding on those T-shares. A lot of the other people have been either goodbye or they'll have restaked with their interest, but they'll get a lot less T-shares, and of course they'll be dropping down the ranks. So it's going to be pretty fascinating to see the people with T-shares in the future. Obviously, eventually from T-shares, we move to B-shares. People will find it very difficult to buy T-shares. And of course, they'll be buying B-shares. That is kind of the future projection there. So cool. All right, so that's how you do a stake. You pretty much put the Hex in. You get as many T-shares as you can. By longer pays better. 20% more per year. 10 years, click stake, and your stake shows there. Just sit back and relax, do nothing, and just watch it turn over. And of course, you're going to get, on top of your inflation that you get, you're going to get 50% of the penalties goes to stakers as well. So when people early in stake, or if they're late in stake penalties, you're going to get all those penalties, 50% of those, of course, based on the amount of shares you've got versus everybody else. So the more T-shares, the more you get. It's kind of like that. Pretty cool. All right, so that's how that works, folks. And let's jump in there. And we can actually see this with the calculator hex.calc. We can let's put our 10,000 in there, and we can actually see what the impact is on this. So 10,000. And we're going to put in 360, let's put 365 days in. And of course, we got it USD. The current price of Hex, 14.1 cents. Let's calculate that. And bam. And there we are. So that's going to give us 0.57 T-shares. And of course, that's one here. We got $10,000. We get a 20% bonus for our effective Hex for 1 year. That's going to give us 12,000. We divide it by the share rate, which is up here, 20,989. That's going to give us 0.57 T-shares. Now, this is on hexcalc.net, hexcalc.net. So I'll just post that in the chat. Post that in there. Bam. All right. There's on the chat there. Right, so that's the link there, and I've just posted it in the chat. So that's how that works, and of course the valuation, the principal, 10,000 plus 14, you're going to get 1241 hex and interest, or inflation as we like to call it, and of course the total payout 11,241. The return on investment is 12% there, and of course in US dollar terms it's 11.39 there. So that is what you're looking at getting for 1 year. Let's do 5 years. I think that's 1830, isn't it? 5 years, 1830, 1830. I think that's 1830. Let's do that and recalculate. So now we're doing a 5-year stake now, and where are we at here? So let's do a 5-year stake, and of course 10,000 hex. That's going to be we're going to get 5-year bonus, so 10,000 hex on top of that. So effective hex is 20,000 divided by the share rate there, 20,989. It's going to give us just shy of 1 T share, 0.955, and of course we will end up getting a APR or APY of 22%. So we jumped basically from 12% to 22% from 1 year to 5 years. And of course, if we do the average length, what's 6.3? Let me just do the math on that. 6.3 times 364. It's 2,293 days. So we do 2,000. This is the average stake length, 2,094, let's say. And we recalculate. This is the average staking period for all of Hexkins. And of course, that's going to give us 10,000. We're going to get 12,500 bonus there. That's going to give us 12,600 hex, effective hex, divided by the share rate. It's going to give us 1.076 as our T share. And of course, that's going to give us 25% APY. That's pretty good as well. So nice. Now, obviously, you're going to get penalties on top of the inflation. This doesn't really include the penalties, and the penalties are going to be awesome. I think in 2025-26, the penalties on top of the inflation paid out the stake is going to be amazing. There's going to be far less T-shares. I think there's going to be a little surge in T-shares this year if we get the big whales in, as we're expecting through Hex Scale and other things like that. And retail virality, I think we're going to have probably a decent year of T-shares this year. But other than that, I think it really is going to be amazing to see that play out. So you can see that the difference is really a big deal. Cool. Let us do 10 years, of course. Let's go 3650. Let's do the maximum effective bonus that we get. So between 10 years and 15 years, you can't get any more bonuses. You don't get that 20% extra per year. You only get that from year 1 to 10. And of course, but what you do by staking longer than 10 years for 5555 is that you lock in the share rate today, because this share rate's only going up, which means you're going to get dramatically less shares in the future. So if you did a 10-year stake and then it matured, the share rate's going to be huge by then. It could be 80,000 hex. I don't know. It's going to be huge by then. And of course, that means you're going to get a lot less T-shares if you want to relock that in. So the way you can lock that benefit in is lock it in for 15 years, and you get that cool rate today. You get the rate of 20,985. So it really is cool. Obviously, this is going to get copied onto the Pulsechain. So it's the other side of it. You have to look at as well. It's going to be the biggest airdrop in crypto history. And of course, Hex is one of the big ones for that as well. So let's do 5,555 days. For 10,000 hex, and the current price is 14 cents. And of course, 10,000 plus the full longer pays better, 20,000. Remember, 20,000, 20% more per year, 200% over 10 years. Gives us 20,000 more. Our effective hex there with our staking bonus is 30,000. And therefore, divided by 20,989 is 1.429 T shares. And of course, that's going to give us an APY here. This estimates of 40.22%. Which is pretty amazing, right? Pretty amazing APY. And on top of this, of course, you're going to get penalties on top of this. So it's crazy cool. It's crazy cool. And I think it's going to be even better than this, as I say, as the function of the US dollar price goes up. There'll be early in stakes from Hex OG stakers. And of course, you'll get a lot more penalties, and that will raise your Hex payment out. It's going to be pretty amazing there as well. So you got 40.65% on the Hex payout. And then 40.22 on the price. Obviously, the price of Hex goes up as well. All these dollars inflate. So this $10,000 will just inflate. So your principal is $1,400. The interest inflation is $8,700. $8,700. But this, if the price of Hex goes up, this goes up. Just keeps going up and up and up. So this could be a lot more. So you just have to change the price. Let's say the price of Hex is $1.50. You're going to watch this number just change completely. And so 15 years time, the price is $1.50. Then you're suddenly looking at 92,807, and that doesn't include the principal, which has gone up to 15,000, and of course the penalties that you're going to get over these 15 years. It's going to be insane in the membrane, as I say, because of the function of Hex price. So that's pretty much it on there. So hopefully it's a good overview of the Hex. I don't think I've missed anything out there. I think that's pretty cool. Like I say, probably the unstaking fee is probably the only issue moving forward. We'll see how that plays out with the actual ETH 2.0, and obviously you're going to get a copy on Pulsechain anyway, and so that's going to be super fast, super cheap, and you'll be able to do staking ladders quite freely, and of course in stakes and good accounting and all the other good features there too. So nice. So hopefully that's a good just overview of the Hex there. Let's see if we've got any questions on that. Hopefully I'm not too far behind here. Man, oh man. Really? Wow, there's so many. I'm going to have to really jump through some of this. Let's go through. Going to have to jump through quite a few. Bob Well says, love the channel. Thank you. I watch every day, says Bob. Hey, Bob, appreciate that. And Tafford's got the rocket bags out there as well. Let's jump through some of this. Let's go through some of this and trying to jump through here. Hit the like, says Sandy Beach. Great content. Appreciate that. And Hex Island Base says, what's the Liquid Loans leaderboard website? So it's actually this one here. And I'll just post it in the chat there. Post that in there for sure. Bam. That's the one there. If you wanted that, cool. Let's jump over to there, and we're going to get on to that. So let's go on. We've got hit the likes. Great content, says Loyal Noob. Hey, thanks very much. 21,000 Hex per T-share, but tomorrow maybe. A very good chance. We get all we need is 10.5 Hex increase, and we could get that for sure. Sandy bet me to it. Posted the link there. Nice one, Sandy. And how many T-shares? Super Zapper says, how many T-shares coming out this year? It's going to be a lot. Super Zapper, going to be a lot. And you can see that on the link there on this one here. You can see if we come out to the end of this year, we've got 1.5, almost 1.6 million T-shares coming out by the end of the year. Obviously, we're going to get a lot of restakers, but they'll be pushed out into the future. So 1.6 million. Good question, though. All right, so cool. So 1.6 million T-shares, 1.6 divided by 10.7. That is 15% is coming out this year in 2022. Nice. Good question. That was a good question. I like that. Let's jump through some of these. I do apologize if I don't get to your comment. I do my best. J-Pon says, thanks, Superman. Hey, you're welcome. Woohoo! Yeah, absolutely. And let's have a look here. What else we got going? And Brown says, my everyday Hex news channel. Thanks, SM. Hey, you're most welcome. And A1's got the fire burns in there. My 555 gets an average of 37%, says Chris. Nice one. All right, cool. Let us jump over from there. And that was on Hex Calc, by the way. So if you want to check out Hex Calc, you can do that. And of course, go.hex is the main site there. So you can check that out. I'll post it in the chat, the Hex Calc one. Once again, it's a third-party site, but it's pretty good. And Charity says, I saw you on IM stream. What did you think? Internet money. I have to do more look at it. I have to look at it. They're going to do an app. They're going to do like a MetaMask, and it's going to be cheap. They're going to do fees, and the fees are going to pay out to the original stakers. That actually has potential, doing really well. But the one question about that, the model I think is brilliant. They're going to do something like a $2 million raise or something, and therefore you're going to actually have a good ownership if you can get in there, if you can actually get some. But the question is, can they get mass adoption? Will they get enough people using the wallet? So it's a big question, marketing and adoption. That's a big question. The actual model underlying sounds simple and would be amazing if they get the adoption. And of course, it will be, they want to compete with MetaMask. So yeah, that's probably the main thing is, can they get the adoption? That's probably the big question there. All right, let's have a look at the Hex price. Woohoo! We're going up. Yes. Green candle during the live show. Bam, 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 bam. I love it. And of course, 14.2 cents, folks, looking really good. And look at that rising up there. Nice. The last couple of hours there, 5 hours. See what we've actually written up there. We found a bottom there, and of course we're up 3% at the moment. So it's small, but we'll take it. A green candle for the hour. That's pretty cool. We've got the Bollinger Bands. This is on the hourly. Let's jump to the daily. It makes a lot more sense jumping to the daily, so we'll do that. We've got the Bollinger Bands at the bottom here, 12.3 cents at the bottom. That's the bottom 5% of the price range. At the top 95% is the top blue line. That's 23 cents. And of course, 50 cents is in the red one, which is 17.8 cents at the moment. So we bounced off the bottom. We've kind of had a nice 2 days of sort of a relief rally, as it were. And then, of course, we had some bots in here. You got to ignore this candle. The candle went up to 17.8 cents. And we also saw on ETH pair that we had a big spike up to 19 cents. Someone got front run on there. It was ridiculous. It's the one thing, it's just because of the way the slippage is set up. And of course, we pulled back down here to 40.2 cents. So nice. Let's have a look at the structure. Pull that on. And we'll come into our big journey here, the triangle. And we can see that we have moved past Pulsechain Sacrifice here back on the 25th. And we're moving past that now. We're in this nice little triangle here. We really want to break out of that. We've got resistance line here. So if we scroll that up here, we see that we've bounced off our 12.6 cent mark. This was also 13.5 cents on the log scale, which we're going to look at in a second. So we really got to bounce out of here. So we could bounce out of 16.5 in the next day, maybe in 2-3 days, maybe 16 cents. If we can get over 16 cents, it's going to be pretty bullish. Breaking out of this area here. Our next resistance, of course, is the big one, the big solid line. And of course, that's, in the mid 20 cent range at the moment. So we need quite a big rally there. We can get them. We see that we get price rallies. We get them all the time. We just got to get onto those nice price rallies and we can bust out of there pretty quickly. As I say, we've got the green pump here. Now, when's this going to happen? We don't know. We're going to translate this over to the left or right as we go. But once again, we are doing pretty well. We're on day 78 of Pulsechain Testnet 2. That means it's 1 day longer than Pulsechain Testnet 1. And of course, we're waiting for Pulsechain Testnet 3. That's pretty critical. So we've finished PulseX, waiting for Pulsechain Testnet 3. We had some snapshots, of course, of PulseX staking. A little controversial about exactly the buy and burn. But like I say, I don't see us not burning tokens because that would kind of ruin the model. But I could see an allocation of the buy and burn going into the reward pool for PulseX staking. Does get PulseX off. You get more PulseX to the people that want it. But you still got to have that buy and burn. Obviously, buying and burn also burns PulseX buy and burn. So it's going to be interesting to see that play out as well. So yeah, so we're waiting a bit more clarity on that one. That certainly caused a little bit of confusion there. All right, cool. So this is what we're waiting at the moment. Breakout of that, and of course, breakout of mid-20s. So 16 cents and the mid-20s, like 23, 24 cents is kind of where we want to break out of out there as well. So cool. We could leave it a few days, of course, and start rising up like this and ended up breaking out of 22 cents somewhere in that mark as well. Cool. Pulsechain launch here. I've got the date here. What date have I got this on? It's not showing up even on my chart. So let me just get rid of the, oh no, it's not blocking you. So that's all right. Let's just hide that one. You can see there, we're just trying to wait for that. Let's have a look at DMI and pull that up and see how we're doing. Hey, this is what we want to see. So this is the picture we want to see. We want to see the demand direction go up there, the seller's direction go up here, and of course the momentum go up this direction. We want to stay over 25 for confirmed direction. We'll take that off. Of course, this is actually what's going on. Sellers still in control, and the buyers here. We're doing a great run on the buyers, so we're actually heading the right direction, right? And of course, we've just had a little bit of a breather here. That's not a bad thing. I might get a little bit of a breather and then get a nice resurgence there. We obviously want the seller's direction go down here, the buyer's direction up there, and momentum to stay over 25. Obviously, when the sellers started coming down, momentum started taming off there a bit too. So that's what we want to see happen. This is what we're waiting for sure. And of course, when we've got the RSI here, we've got plenty of room. I'm just going to adjust that down. We've got plenty of room to move up if we get a price rally. So it's not like we haven't got room on the RSI. We've got plenty of room for sure. All right, cool. That is pretty much it on the price there. Let's jump over to the log scale. And of course, we can see the log scale here. We've got, this is the chart goes all the way back now to the beginning of Hex. The other one just goes back to like May 21. This goes all the way back to the beginning of Hex on the 2nd of December 2019. We've got the price at the 5th of January 2020. And of course, that's the all-time low there. Quadruple 056. Now, put up your hand if you want to buy Hex on that day and buy all your bags. Put your hand up with this going. All right, so I was at the market at the time, so it's all right. I'm just kidding. But if you want to buy that, that's cool. And of course, we rode all the way up. Look at that channel. It's just a one big bullish channel. We're still holding that up pretty much based on the early structure. So the early structure here forming the bottom was the 20th of November and, of course, the 20th of March. So 20 March 2020 and the 20th of November 2020 sent the base for that. And, of course, I've got the tops here in May 20 and, of course, the other top here for September 21. It's kind of formed that upward channel. and that is the way this is set up. This is on log chart there. So if we take away the log chart, that's what the linear chart looks like. Look at the long time that people had. Like, this is quite some mad gains in here, but still relative. It's all relative to the price, how price rises here. But obviously the Hex price kept rolling up, and just away you go, away you go, away you go, and then it's just started really taking off here. Amazing stuff, right? Amazing stuff. All right, so we're going to put back on the log channel channel there, or chart, and of course you can see us zoom in. So let's zoom in here. We obviously bounced off our support line, very critical. That was so important we did that. We're starting coming back a little bit though. We don't really want to break this down too much, and we want to be able to bounce that off, as I've got the green here, so maybe something like that now. Support level of 2 on the log chart was around about 11.5 cents. We didn't hit that, and that was positive. And so we've got to keep going up here, have a nice little rally off that. So you can see that the last time we touched the chart was the spike down here, and that was back on 20 November. It's a long time ago. Now we're also coming up for typically Hex has doubled every 6 months, and of course we probably got about 20 days to go for that to be fulfilled. So we need a nice little bump up there and get to all-time high in the next say 22 days or something like that. So we're looking forward to that as well. All right, cool. We have got the fundamentals coming for it, and so hopefully we'll see that too. Let's have a look at crypto markets. We've got BTC at 37, just under 38,000. Obviously a bit of a pullback. Looks like it's starting to recover a little bit, if I'm not right. It might be right there. And of course, Ethereum at 2,600, BNB at 362. It was down a lot more. Let's have a look at BTC just quickly, and let's see where we're getting on there. So cool. Let's have a look at the last 7 days on the BTC chart. And you can see that, yeah, we're up here on the 27th, 39,800. We've had a little bit of pullback here, but we're still well up above our 34,800 that we were back on the 24th. So we might be able to get ourselves a nice move back up there. Certainly got a little uptrend happening here. And so we'll see just how that plays out at the moment. So cool. That is that for that. Let us jump over to... let me just go to the Hex price just over here. I just wanted to see what the gas fee is. Gas fee on ETH at the moment is 55, so definitely increased after we moved out of the weekend. Remember, the best time is Sunday, 1 to 3 a.m. UTC time, is typically the best way, and we had a pretty good over, quite a bit of the weekend actually. So cool. We're jumping over to Hedron now. Woohoo! Let's get to Hedron. We're going to have a check out the price there for sure. Let's just jump through some of these. Craig says, just to show the power of T-shares, $100 today in 15 years. If Hex is for $10, your 100 becomes 40,000. Think about that. That's amazing, Craig. That's only one chain. Yeah, so you need a copy of your Hex stakes on Pulsechain. So you can have 2 copies. And pretty awesome. Smash the like. People says Pulsechain trainer. Absolutely. Hex token pump, says Brennan. I like that. Yeah, this channel, we try to get green candles every time we do a live stream on this channel. Tindot says, I buy IMD on market. I have to see the wallet work. And KG was talking about no hardware wallet integration. Yeah, I did hear a little bit of that. Chris says, great stream tonight. I'm out, says Chris. Hey, Chris, thanks very much. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, brother. Peace out. Brendan says, that's only 702X at the moment. And great, Craig. And what else we got? Brendan says, life-changing money. Absolutely. All right, so here we are, folks. Hedron. This is a claim and mint. There are a couple of functions. There's a claim and mint. There's a borrowing. And then there's the HSI or wrapped stakes. We're not going to talk about the next 2. They're locked out at the moment anyway. We've got the claim and mint at the moment. It's kind of like a free airdrop to reward to Hex stakers. You have to have existing Hex stakes to get that. And you get amount of Hedron based on the amount of days that your stakes have served individually. So if you've got 10 stakes and they've all served different amount of days, they're going to get based on the amount of days they've served so far. Not on the future days that you've still got to go. Let's say you've got $1,000 day stake. You've served $500 days of those. You'll get Hedron paid for that, for those 500 days. You won't get Hedron paid for the next 500 days. You have to wait for lending if you want to borrow against that, or just wait until the days have been served to be able to mint it again. All right, cool. You will be getting a copy on Pulsechain as well. So let's quickly have a look at the price here. This is we obviously launched 26th of February. And of course, on this chart monitoring, we've got 3 pairs at the moment that I'm aware of. We've got USDC on version 2, USDC on version 3, and that's against Hedron. And of course, we've got Hex as well. Hex is on there as well. You can trade Hex, which is, I could think, got a smaller pool. So the price might move a lot more on that. So you might be able to arbitrage a bit. I don't know. The bond pool's kind of bonded. I'm not sure if you can do that, but cool. All right, so 28th of February here, we're up at, I was here when I watched the launch, watched the price up here at 5 zeros and 4 cents. So it's 0.5 zeros and then 4 cents for it was on this day. And of course, it's came down pretty dramatically up there, then fell all the way to 6 zeros, 8 7. So 0.6087, and so then it just rose up again. Had a little rally and went to 5 zeros, 2 3 4, and of course there it's been just came back up again to 5 zeros 2 3, and it's been slowly declining. Now the thing is that this is just brand new, and everybody with Hex stakes can mint their Hedron. So there's going to be a massive supply, and so how fast that supply happens, is there only going to be 10% of people actually mint their Hedron, and then maybe people drip later on. I'm not expecting their Origin account to mint the Hedron. Maybe the Hex Godwhale might mint the Hedron. Don't know. We'll see. Stuff like that. So you've got all these different things going on, and how much of the actual Hex people will actually interact with the contract. It is a read only on the contract part. If you see David Furer's video, he does a very good overview. He's looked at the contracts and everything else like that, so it's a very good person to reference. As I say, he's going to be doing a public validator for people on Pulsechain, so people can stake with David Furer on that. And I think that's associated also to the Kinetics team as well. So cool, that's where the price is at the moment. So if the price is sitting at 501, that means that you could get a billion Hedron for $1,000. That gives you a good benchmark. So if the price is 1, if it's at up here at 2, then it would cost you $2,000 to get a billion, and that's pretty cool. And a billion's a lot, right? So if you've I guess that's gonna it's going to be a pretty big, be a pretty big stake on the Hex stake in there to be able to get a billion Hedron straight off the bat, be able to mint, depending on your number of days served and stuff like that. So take that into account. That's where the price is at the moment. So actually looking pretty good. Obviously, it's going to cost you I guess it's going to cost you $757 for a billion Hedron at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Obviously, this could go down. It could go down way lower, right? It could go down into these 100 units, right? So if we change the chart, it could even go down further and further. Let's see where it goes. It's going to be fascinating. I actually fairly optimistic about the project. So we'll see what happens. It's an experiment. So and of course, it's got the other features going to open up the borrowing and the HSI, the new staking. Basically, if you stake Hex through Hedron, you'll get them wrapped. They'll get wrapped up, like putting your Hex in a jar, wrapping that up, and of course you'll be able to trade that as an NFT. So it's going to be really different, which means that you potentially can also exit out of your Hex stakes in different ways. So it's going to be interesting to see that play out. Cool. So that is the price, and of course, like I say, this version 2. This is version 2 that we're looking at, but there's version 3 USD, and there's also Hex, and you can also see them on Nomics. You can see all those 3 trading pairs on Nomics. If you want to put in Hedron, you'll be able to see that. Now, here's the official site, of course, Hedron.pro, and of course, this is the main site here. You can obviously buy Hedron there. I think that's probably working now. Had a little hiccup there on the launch. Basically, if you've got a native stake at the moment, you can mint your Hedron. If you do it in the first 10 days, you get a 10x bonus, which is pretty big. And of course, every 10 days after that, it goes down from 9x down to 8x, down to 7x, etc. So the first 100 days, you get the bonuses. Eventually, it gets down to 1x multiplier. So there's basically get them in the first 10 days. You don't have to mint the tokens today. You just have to claim them. If you want to get lock in the bonuses, you can claim them today. That's one transaction. When the Gwei was 30 Gwei, it was about $10, $9. Obviously, the Gwei's higher now. But just take that into account. And of course, you don't have to mint them. Mint them as a second transaction. There's 2 transactions. Claim the bonuses and then mint the actual Hedron on that. And so cool. And then you receive the bonuses. So you can actually do that all on the platform. Now I'm going to scroll down here. The other features, of course, this is in blue here. This is the mint. This is the one we're talking about. It's sort of the same as this over here. There are the borrow advanced. That's a different lock. You can see it's locked at the moment. And the tokenized HSI locked as well. So that's coming up in the future. So that will add more life to the project. But here is the free claim. If you've got B shares, remember 1 T share is 1,000 B shares. So if you had a T share, you might have that. Let's say you had it staked for, I don't know, let's say you had it staked for 10 years, 3, 6, 4, 1, say. And then, of course, you had served, let's say you'd served 2 years. So let's say 730 days. 730, let's see what that is. So 1 T-share, you're going to get the 10x multiple because you're claiming today. To calculate what's it going to give you. So it's going to give you 8 million. It estimates as 8 million Hedron at the moment. But if you wait until 90 days, let's say 80 days away, something like that, you're going to get 2x, not 10x. That's going to drop all the way down to 2 million. So you definitely want your 10x at the moment. Your 10x is at least you can claim it. You don't have to actually mint the tokens, but if you claim it, you will lock in the X bonus there by claiming. That's what you're locking in at the moment. So that's going to be 8 million Hedron. Very cool. And of course, we got 8 million Hedron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 8 million? Yeah, 8 million Hedron times the price, which is 0.12345 zeros, 6 zeros, 75, I think it is. That's what's that? $6. $6, I think that is. So you got to make sure if your fees costing you $10, you got to be careful about that. The period of staking there. So definitely cool. You can actually see what that is by hitting on the Hedron dApp at the top. Connect your wallet with the MetaMask. Remember, it's reading only for these functions, and it will bring up your stakes below there. And of course, you'll have all your stakes, and it'll have a feature saying action, and you'll either you can claim and hit the action. You can go claim and mint. So those are 2 transactions for each stake. So you do have to make sure that it's economic if you're going to do that right now. Otherwise, you can just leave them there. You can claim later on. But I would claim earlier if you want to get the bonus. And if you've got really small stakes, real small B shares, just maybe forget about it if they're too small. But once again, the Hedron, we just don't know what the price is going to do in the months ahead. It's only just launched as an experiment. So we'll see what happens. It's kind of like a free airdrop, but we just don't know what that's going to do at the moment. So cool. My mouse is just dying here, so let me just recharge that a little bit. Cool. That's what's going on at the moment. Let's see where that mouse still works. So when I plugged in. All right, cool. All right, so there we are. Hey, all right. So am I going to get my mouse back? No. Let me retry that. My mouse. I've got to recharge it now after the live stream. This is because I do so many live streams. It's run out. Let's have a look here. No, it's dying on me. So let me just recharge that for a second. Right, so I'm going to recharge that a little bit. So that is the price at the moment, and I can't actually read anything else because my mouse has died. That's just great. Connected. It's connected. Yay! All right. Well, I probably should end up. We're an hour and 36 minutes, so I should probably end up finishing that. Let's put that on there. So cool. This is the place here. So I think if I switch this over to Pulsechain, I can actually show the interface. This is on the Pulsechain testnet just to show you how that works. And of course, we're going to collect the MetaMask there. So this is an example of what you should see when you connect your wallet. You should see this on the Ethereum blockchain. And of course, the amount of days served is how many mintable Hedron. When you get the mintable there, you'll have an action button. And you click claim, and then that will cost you a certain amount of money. And of course, you can then hit the mint button if you're happy, depending on where you want them now, depending on how much you're actually getting in terms of the Hedron mintable. Once again, the more days served you get, you can go back there and mint, depending on if it's economic for you to do so. Very, very cool. We can also see at the moment the amount minted. We can see the amount minted here on this chart. Shows you everything that's minted. This is on the Pulsechain. I might have to change it over to the. Oh, it's not going to lock on there for the Hedron there. Cool. Let us wrap up. I think we're going to start wrapping up here. Belliot Brand says, great work. Hey, Belliot, appreciate that. Big shout out to Belliot Brand. Obviously, most people have subscribed to Belliot, but if you haven't, go subscribe to Belliot Brand's YouTube channel. And Charity Dunning says, with Hedron, if we mint now, do we mint again at a later date? You can mint again once you've served more days. You have to serve more days to get more Hex. If you've got a long stake, you've only served maybe 20% of it. You let it run 20% more days, and you'll be able to mint even more Hedron. Cool. Bob says gas prices are cheaper on the weekend. Yeah, your best time to do it is on the weekend. You should still have time for the 10 days, I think, for the 10x bonus for the next weekend. Bob Wells says, great video. Thank you, and see you tomorrow. Hey, Bob, appreciate that. Brendan says, thank you. You can mint daily. I'm pretty sure you can do that as well. You can mint daily on the safe servers, but obviously you'd have massive stakes to be able to do that, to make it economic. Keep in mind the gas fees. That's right. Nice one. What else we got going? Sam in SB says claim in the first 10 days. It keeps the multiplier for the later claim. Yeah, you don't actually have to mint the tokens. You can just do the claims on all your stakes particularly the ones you think are economic. You get the 10x bonus. Hedron really taken a beating, says Brazolji. It has today, but it's still early days, so we'll watch it. It's an experiment. We'll see how it goes. Free crypto. Can't complain about that. Law Noob says, thank you, Superman. Awesome stream. Superman is one of the favorite characters too. Me too. I agree with that Law one. All right. Always have a backup mouse when you stream. Yeah, I should do. It's now I have to put it on a full recharge because they actually last quite a long time. And the Apple mouse lasts for quite a few weeks. So yeah, just a botch up there. Fortunately, I was managed to just plug it in for a second. It's giving me a bit more power as I end up going. I'm an island mouse, says Craig Welling. Awesome stuff. Hey, an hour and 40 minutes. I'm kicking it. This 2 days in a row. I've gone over my 1 hour 20. I'm just such a passionate person. He says to himself. All right, so cool. Hope you guys have enjoyed the live stream. Man, it's been great stuff. Don't forget, let's have a quick look at the liquid loans just to wrap it up. This is the big one, the big sack on at the moment. 25.5 million. Man, it climbed a lot just in a couple of hours, and we've got 1 day and 6 hours left until the earlier pays better bonus starts rising by 5%. Now, if you want to get a 5% referral bonus, of course, register your wallet. You can use my referral link in the video description. Register your wallet, and then, of course, you can go sacrifice and get that 5% on all your total balances. So that's earlier pays better, bigger pays better, and longer pays better. Pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed this one, folks. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. And, of course, if you want to join as a member, we've got Pulsechain, Hexskins, and the Richard Hart Club. Get out there, folks. This is just the beginning. We're just warming up, as I say. I could say this is the beginning every month. But you know why? Because it is just the beginning. We've got such a long-term view of, 15 years plus, 50 years plus. I mean, really, there's no end to where this can end, obviously, until the day I go to heaven. But apart from that, that's it. Very cool. All right, so much news, says Brazolji. Absolutely kicking it. HT Superman, woohoo, says it's now. Nice one. And dedicated streamer, hit that like. Absolutely. Very cool. All right, Brent says, cheers again, Superman. Keep up the solid work. Will do. Let me just type out here. Thanks for watching. And we got there. Thanks for watching. Bam. All right, let's post some emojis if you're a Hex Token channel member. Smash those emojis out. That's for sure. As we go. So let's post some of these. Nice. Bam. All right, so hey, just a final thing. Big shout out to Hex is the Way for doing some great streams. Big shout out to Belly Brand, of course, in the chat there. Very cool. Big shout out to the Magic Carpet Ride team. Keep doing that good stuff out there for the community. And a big shout out to Crypto Heartbeat as well, who's been doing a lot of pay it forward projects. I really do like that a lot. So take care out there, everybody. Very cool. Congratulations to Liquid Loans, of course, reaching 25 million. And man, and also Alex for running Hedron with the free claim. That's pretty cool as well. All right, take care now. Bye for now. Cheers. Let me find the end button. I can't find the end button. I'm lost. All right, let's say hello. Matt's got some emojis there as well. Thanks again, says Matt, and updates on the Pulsechain launch. Yeah, probably we're talking about. I haven't done the timeline today for Pulsechain. We did it yesterday, but 24th of March is kind of the earliest date. We're expecting it today. I'm waiting for Pulsechain testnet 3. It's late, peeps. Nice one. Woohoo, says JPon. And A1's got the things out as well. So very good. All right, take care now. I really am saying goodbye now. Bye for now.